In the frozen north of Westeros, where the sea is black as iron, and the wind cuts like a blade, there lies an island few dare to claim. An island rich in bears, and poor in mercy. This is Bear Island, the home of House Mormont. Hidden in the Bay of Ice, north of Deepwood Moss, and south of the frozen shore, Bear Island stands alone against the fury of the sea. Old, gnarled oaks twist toward gray skies. Tall pines whisper secrets in the wind. Moss-covered stones blanket the hills like ancient graves. And somewhere in those forests, bears roam freely. As Sir Jorah Mormont once said, Bear Island is rich in bears and trees, and poor in aught else. It is beautiful, it is harsh, it is unforgiving, just like the people who live there. At the heart of the island stands Mormont Keep, a stronghold not built for luxury, but for survival. The Mormonts are ancient, proud, honorable, yet their lands are cold, distant, poor. Eddard Stark once reflected, the Mormonts of Bear Island were an old house, proud and honorable. But their lands were cold and distant and poor. But poverty does not break a northern house. It hardens it. Bear Island has never known peace for long. For thousands of years, it was fought over by the North and the Iron Islands. Once ruled by House Woodfoot, then conquered by the Ironborn, used as a reaving base by Hoare. The Ironmen ruled the Sunset Sea from Bear Island all the way south to the Arbor, until a king in the north rose to challenge them. Theon Stark drove the Ironborn from the island and slew Hoare himself. But the Krakens always returned. Loran Greyjoy retook it, then lost it again, and again. Legend says King Roderick Stark won Bear Island in a wrestling match and gifted it to House Mormont. Some scholars doubt the tale, but on Bear Island, legends matter. In the old days, when the men were at sea fishing, the Ironborn would raid. And who stood to defend the island? The women. While their husbands and sons were away, the women of Bear Island picked up axes and spears. They fought. They bled. They endured. As Lyanna Mormont would later say, what we are is what you made us. On Bear Island, every child learns to fear krakens rising from the sea. On Bear Island, girls are raised with steel in their hands. There are no helpless daughters here, only warriors. When Robb Stark called his banners, Lady Medj Mormont answered. She marched south with her daughters, Daisy, Lyra, and Jarell, to fight for the king in the north. Daisy Mormont, heir to Bear Island, died at the Red Wedding beside her king. But the island did not bend. When Stannis Baratheon demanded fealty, a 10-year-old girl answered him. Lyanna Mormont, her words thundered across the north. Bear Island knows no king but the king in the north, whose name is Stark. No hesitation, no fear, just loyalty. Not all Mormonts lived honorably. Lord Jorah Mormont joined the Night's Watch so his son, Jorah, could rule. But Jorah fell in love with luxury, and with Lyness Hightower of Old Town to feed her expensive tastes, he sold poachers into slavery, a crime punishable by death in the north. When Eddard Stark came to pass judgment, Jorah had already fled into exile, disgraced. disgraced, banished. And yet, across the narrow sea, he never stopped longing for home. Daenerys Targaryen once thought, he can never have me, but one day I can give him back his home and honor. For Jorah, their island was not riches. It was redemption. When the realm tore itself apart during the War of the Five Kings, their island stood firm. Midge Mormont vanished into the neck on Robb's orders. Alysanne Mormont later rode with Stannis after the fall of Deepwood Mont. Even when divided by war, the island endured. Because Bear Island does not break. It bends like pine in a storm, and then stands tall again. Fun fact, in an early draft of Westeros' map in 1993, Bear Island wasn't even in the Bay of Ice. It was originally placed near the stony shore. Even in creation, the island wandered, but in the story, it found its place, cold, remote, unyielding. Bear Island is not rich in gold. It does not command vast armies. It does not boast grand castles like the South, but it has something rarer: honor, fierce loyalty, and women who fight like bears defending their cubs. In a world of dragons and kings, Bear Island proves something powerful. You do not need to be mighty to be feared. You only need to stand your ground and never kneel.